Welcome to the Fab Four Travel Talk podcast with Kristy, Gina, Eric, and Kyle. Now, sit back and relax. Let's chat about some magical destinations. Hi, everybody. Welcome to this week's podcast. I'm Gina, and I am your host this week, and we are all back together.
Yay!
Yay! So it was really kind of awkward doing a podcast all by myself.
Yeah,
Just
but
have
you
to
did
say
great. You did
Thank
great.
you. It was short and sweet, but that's a topic that's kind of near and dear to my heart because I definitely use those tips every single time we travel. So anyway, but it was just strange not being able to look at anybody and just, talk to the camera.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, well, anyway. But what we're going to talk about tonight is the fact that Kristy and Eric are just off of the Guru birthday bash cruise. And, obviously we weren't there like we had hoped that we could be. It's okay. I know, right? So we got to get a trip update. We really have not talked about it. And it's been bugging the stew out of me not to really get like little tidbits here and there. But she does really good about not giving me any, information. So.
We did figure out while we were on the cruise, though, that because we are Apple to Apple, we could text.
Yes.
Right, even without data.
Even without data.
Yep.
Because it used the ship's Wi-Fi for free.
Yeah.
And I got a text from my sister who has an Apple, and I was like, hey. And then I was like, Gina, do you hear me?
I do.
Gina, can you hear me?
Yeah. And so the other gurus were like, what did Gina say? I'm like, oh, let's ask her. So it was almost like you were with us.
Yeah. I was the news person. They would get like headlines to news stories.
Yeah.
And then Kristy's like, okay, what's this really about? And I'm like, it's this, and this.
Mm-hmm.
There was one time I had to actually like copy and paste a news story because it was pretty
It was
funny.
a little bit slow.
Well, no, we had all the election stuff going on. So that was kind of what
the response, there was a little bit of a delay because the guy in the radio room had to tap it out every time.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Well, it's funny because it kept people were having different things happen, but Leah was getting just the headlines from Apple News.
Mm-hmm.
So like, you get the alert on your phone. It would only be the headline, so it was like 6 words, and then it was like, Super Tuesday elections have gone. So we were all like, Gina, we need an election update. So that was cool, though. That was interesting.
There was one morning, wasn't it? A morning or whatever. I'm like, you want to know about the election? And you were like, yes! In all caps with exclamation points.
Usually it's fine to be out there and like...
What you didn't see was me in the background going, no. No.
Whenever the group would start talking about it, he's like, can we not talk about this right now? We are out in the middle of the ocean.
Right.
Right?
We brought this beautiful backdrop back with us.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
This is sort of like the Bahamas.
This is kind of like being in the Bahamas. They didn't want to leave.
Like Castaway Key.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we had a lot of fun.
I bet.
So you guys were on the Magic.
Yes.
Okay. So does that mean, Kristy, you've now sailed on all 4 ships?
It is. That was my grand slam.
Wow, cool.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Do you get anything special for it?
No.
No, but I got something special.
What'd you get?
I am now gold.
Oh, good.
We did not know going into this cruise, and then it was like, oh, hey, here's your gold lanyard. Like, yay, I got a gold lanyard. Now I get to play with all the big kids.
Of course. And then...
So for those that don't know what that is, what exactly does that mean?
Yeah, so Disney's Castaway Key Club. If after your first cruise, you're silver.
Right.
And then after your 5th cruise, 5, you are gold. And then after your 10th cruise, you're platinum.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So I was all excited because he was gold, but then we get on the ship and Jen Campbell is platinum. Brandy is platinum.
Yeah.
One of Brandy's friend that was on the ship, platinum.
Mm.
So it was funny. We're like, he's all excited about his gold status.
And then I was like, oh, yeah. Sit down, boy. Like,
Campbell was like,
I'll just be over here in the corner. It's
right. Fine. That's funny. And what you get a lanyard for each thing.
Yeah.
So you proudly can display your cruising or lack of, I guess. If
you're just new, you get like What color is the new one?
The
Or do they
first-time
not even give
cruises
you one?
don't get a lanyard at all.
Oh,
Right.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Get like a
Right.
paper badge. It says,
Oh,
"Hi,
that's
my
sad.
name is."
yeah. It's like a sticker. They're
Yeah.
not going to invest in you just yet.
It says,
Right,
"Hi, I'm new.
exactly.
Hi, I'm new here."
Now, on your second cruise, you do though, right?
Yep. As soon as you're silver, you get the silver one. So
Okay.
yeah, and it's cool because they actually do comment on it. Like our server at dinner
Mhm.
instantly was like, "Oh, you're gold. Have you ever been on the Magic before?" And we were like, "No, this is our first time. Yay!"
Yeah.
So
Then he was like,
Welcome
"Have you been
aboard,
on this one?"
princess.
They're like, "Yes." How about this one? Yes.
yeah,
He's like, "I worked on this one for 10 years and this one for another 7 or 8." And
Oh, so
I
you
guess-
had a seasoned server.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Very
and I
cool.
guess they all want to make their way to this ship because of
To
the
the Magic?
itineraries. Yeah,
yeah.
Oh.
It's
because of the
the golden-
itineraries that they do. That's, I guess, the one everybody wants to work on.
Why?
It's pretty cool.
because it does the Mediterranean.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for people that want to be able to see more
See.
than
Mm-hmm.
Northern Europe, Baltics,
Right.
and the Mediterranean. So we actually just discovered that the service on this ship is actually even better than the others.
Get out.
What?
How
Yeah.
is that possible?
We spent so
Right.
much time talking about that with the group
Right.
because when you go on the dream or the fantasy or the wonder, you think like, this is great. Like this
Yeah.
service is amazing.
Right.
Mhm.
It's just a little bit extra. It's like that plus
Huh.
that they have.
Who knew?
Because everybody is like very well trained and they've done this for so long and they know all the ins and outs.
Yeah.
They can anticipate things even faster than the other ones.
Mm.
Well, that
And
would
they
make
had a
sense.
lot of the staff, I shouldn't say a lot, there was at least 2 people on the cruise staff that were on the fantasy before
Okay.
and now we're at the Magic, and it was like the best people you remember, like Kajori.
Mhm.
Kajori is one of my favorites from the fantasy, and there she was on the Magic. I was like, holy cow. So yeah, the service is just it's just amazing.
And then we have
Cool.
a new favorite too.
Tony from España.
Tony.
Hashtag
Oh.
Tony from España.
Anya.
Tony was great. Tony's part of the entertainment
Cruise staff, yeah.
crew staff.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
so they run all the games and that stuff.
Uh-huh.
And he was just fantastic.
He's so funny. He's from Spain.
Okay.
And in fact, his Instagram is actually at Tony from Spain. And he, because of his accent, he says things very different than you'd expect. So he's running like a trivia game,
Right.
and you're like, what? Like, what is he saying? He was doing the villain quote trivia
Okay.
in O'Gill's
that's
one
right.
night,
Yep.
and he's saying the quotes, and you have to pick figure out the character in the movie.
Uh-huh.
And he said this one, and then he's like, but let me say it to you in Spanish. And he like says the whole thing, and he's like doing the body language and stuff. And it was hysterical. And it ended up being Ursula with her.
Yeah.
And everybody swooned.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Well, and he had said, he goes, normally I listen to them in English. He goes, you have to go home and watch this in Spanish. He goes, because the voice that they used for Ursula is just completely different. It's not that deep, like, menacing type voice that they used for it.
Okay.
It's actually more of just a higher pitched, like sassy voice.
Huh.
And he's doing the thing where he's like snapping and everything and dancing around. It was pretty funny. So
Interesting.
yep, definitely memorable, which is nice. I mean, that's really what you want on a cruise like that.
Mhm.
Right.
You want people that you remember when you're done.
He did not understand what a guru was.
Oh, I'm sure.
It
Yeah.
was funny because
That
we were
was a-
playing a game, and that was our team name, and he was like, "Oh, what?" And we were like, "Mickey Guru." He's like, "Guru?"
No, not Gru.
And then somebody was like, "I am Groot," like from the back of the room, and he was like, "Oh, Mickey Groot," and we're like, "No."
No.
So it was super fun. They were just so top notch.
Yeah, no, it was a lot
The
of fun.
crew staff, especially.
So let's talk about the restaurants. Let's talk about those. What was your favorite? Because there's 3 different restaurants in addition to Cabanas.
Yeah. So there's Rapunzel's Royal Table,
Mhm.
Lumiere's, and Animator's Palette.
Okay.
Um,
Do you have a favorite?
So I loved the setting and the show at Rapunzel's royal table.
Okay. So there's a show at that one.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a full on dinner show.
Yeah, music, and then she comes. She does not greet at the table.
Okay.
Kind of drives by the table.
Right.
So she says hello or whatever. But her people, the Snuggly Ducklings,
Yep.
the bar people,
Okay.
they came to the table for a long time and really kind of played. They were playing with Ted quite a bit because he was in that spot at the table. The food was okay that night. They did have fried dough in Rapunzel's fry pan with chocolate sauce and ice cream.
Yum.
That was good.
Yummy. That sounds really good.
Yeah, it was good.
So what else, Eric? Food.
So
anything special or?
They've still got the tuna tower, which
Okay.
I think anybody that's a longtime listener knows I'm a huge fan of.
Right.
So I think I had that 3 times out of the how many nights? 5 nights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was great, and it actually started with the first night. It wasn't on the menu at Animator's Palette, but the waiter came by and said, "Hey, I'd like a tuna tower," and I didn't really say anything else about it. He goes, "Oh yeah, I'll get that for you. It'll just take an extra minute."
Oh,
I was
cool.
like, "All right, you have been here for a while. You know what
Right.
the situation is."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that was good. I mean, everything I had a lot of steak.
Mm.
I think
You
I
did eat a lot of
only had
steak.
chicken one night. I think every other night was steak.
Yeah, it was like prime rib.
He was-
or
It was like
I
us
got-
on the
I got-
deluxe
I
plan.
got in
Yeah.
his head.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, it was all medallions and prime rib and this. And it was like, it was all good. The desserts were
yummy.
fantastic.
We went out to dinner last night, and I almost got the prime rib, but I didn't because I don't know. There's nothing worse or more disappointing than a prime rib that's not very
Had a bad
good.
prime rib, yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So I was like,
Yeah.
I'll get these scallops, which the waitress recommended, and it was basically scallops and bacon jam on top of grits. So I mean, I was like, oh, it can't go wrong.
What?
Except for there must have been a stick of butter in this dish.
Oh my goodness.
So I gave it to
send
Kyle.
that-
I could
send
not
that
eat it.
here.
I just,
wow.
And then 2 people down from me got the prime rib. And I'm like, Brian, how's that prime rib? Oh, it's some of the best prime rib I've ever had. And I'm like, dang it.
Thanks.
I got the stick of butter
I got
instead.
buttered scallops.
Ugh.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Kyle liked my buttered scallops, though. He ate those.
Yeah, I was gonna say I could eat that any day of the week. Although I've never had it with bacon jam,
Ooh.
or grits for that matter.
I was gonna say when you had it with grits.
Yeah, no.
Right.
Usually we get it in a little little dish, just a bunch of scallops in it,
Mm-hmm.
like a butter something or other with like breadcrumbs on top, and it's baked, and just that's it. Nothing
Yeah.
else.
Nothing wrong with that.
No.
It's yeah. Really good.
And our
So yeah, it didn't have any seafood though. That was the one thing I avoided this trip.
Really?
Didn't have, and usually they have great salmon. I just didn't actually order any this time for some
Wasn't in the mood.
strange reason.
We had the tuna, so yeah, a
Yeah,
little
that's
bit.
true.
Yeah.
You did have seafood. Yeah, tuna.
That showed up the first night. Ted looks at it and he goes, "It's not cooked, right?" And I went, "Yep." He goes, "You gonna eat that?" I was like, "Yep." And I'm gonna get more tomorrow too. He's kind of
You're
looked
gonna
at me
eat
like, "What? All right."
Ted's one of our other agents, Leah, who has been on the show before.
That's right.
Her husband, and he is very dry, but just like one of those people, they'll keep you in stitches.
Oh,
Just
absolutely.
so anyway,
On our first
I
night-
don't know. We did. So I mean, we're still talking. If we're still talking
Food.
restaurants and food,
I was gonna say on the first night, the guy comes around and he like gets your name and stuff,
Mhm.
and he said, "What should I know about you? Any food allergies?" I said, "No, but I eat like a 4-year-old." And he was like, "Oh, okay." So, but the one thing that he kept doing was I think
he's
he was
thinking, do I have to cut everything up into little tiny bites for her?
right.
Hey, like a 4-year-old.
So I said to him, like,
anything.
most nights I had my appetizer was the kid's salad with Thousand Island dressing, because it's just an iceberg salad with cucumbers and tomatoes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And the first night I ordered it, he was like, "Really?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "You don't want," and he rattled off like the 4 or 5 things. I'm like, "Mm-mm."
No.
He's like, "None of that sounds good." I'm like, "Mm-mm." And he's like,
Tried.
"Okay." So the next day he says to me,
Do you see the lanyard? I'm gold. No, I know
how
what I
this
want to
works.
eat.
Yeah.
I don't-
The next night he says to me, so maybe I'll give you the menu for tonight, so you can have time to look at it. I went, oh, I look at it on my phone. I know what I'm getting before I even walk in. And he goes, and you're still picking the kid salad? And I was like, uh-huh. And he goes, okay, friend.
He stopped asking after that.
Okay. Yeah, it's all right.
He was done after that.
He's like, now I know what she means about.
No, she really does eat like a 4-year-old. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Well, on the very first night, I ordered chicken tenders, fries, and mac and cheese.
That was on the menu?
The kids'
It's on
menu.
the kids' menu.
Oh.
And he was like,
Kristy knows they share a kitchen.
Yeah, I know I share a kitchen.
I know you could get that. Don't look at me.
It was so
I
funny.
know they have it. Even if it's not on the menu, go get it.
And then, of course, he gets to my daughter, and she orders like an adult.
Right.
And he looked at me at one point. He looked at her, and they looked at me, and he went, and I went, she gets it from her dad. Because Allie will try anything.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. The nice thing about it on the cruise is if you don't like it, you don't have to eat it. You can send it back and get something else.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So you should at least try something.
Or everything.
I tried whiskey.
Right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. What?
She drank whiskey on this cruise.
Nice.
Yeah,
So-
like a full-on shot of it. Like, bam, gone. Like,
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
yeah.
What
So let's
happened?
just segue to that, shall we?
Yeah.
We can.
Sounds
You know,
good.
they do like mixology classes online on the ship and all of that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so before you get too far into that, can we just segue into our cookies that we got too?
Oh, I thought you were
'Cause I
saying
wanna
we
eat
all do
this while
shots.
Go ahead while I cough.
I thought y'all were going to do shots for us. That
Remember
would've
we
been
talked about the Bischoff cookies.
Right?
I got some this week.
No.
So I'm going to enjoy
Those are
that while Kristy...
so good.
Oh, they really are. I had one earlier. So I'm going to enjoy that while
Yummy.
Kristy's talking about her bar adventure.
Christy, do you not eat the Biscoff cookies?
I haven't tried them yet. My 2 are still right here.
Oh.
Because I'm a 4-year-old and my pre-podcast snack was gone goldfishing in a little baggie too.
Yeah.
Yes. Just like a 4-year-old.
Could have been Cheerios. I don't know.
I mean, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, they're so good dipped in tea.
Oh, yeah, they are.
Yes.
That's,
yes.
yeah.
Yes,
I'll
they
Okay.
are.
save mine for my
I'm going to
tea.
sit back.
Melt.
You tell them about the whiskey.
Okay. So they have like mojito tastings and they have champagne
Yes.
tastings, like all that stuff.
Okay.
So our friends decided to sign up for the chocolate and liqueur tasting.
Mm,
So although I don't really drink, I really do like chocolate
And
Yeah.
friends.
and friends.
So,
Mhm.
So I decided to
Okay.
go. I
right.
signed us up. And we walked in, and I'll share pictures on social media so people can see this, but they have the whole room, and there's a station at every table with champagne. It was pink champagne.
Mm.
And Tattinger, I think is the name of it.
could have been.
Okay.
And then they had a port wine.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, there was a red
It was
wine,
red wine that was the Lassiter family vineyard.
which was so
Okay.
weird that they were talking about Lassiter. I was like,
Oh,
whoa,
yeah.
didn't we stop talking about him?
Right.
Nope,
Wasn't he
still
gone?
talking about the wine. The wine's good.
Ah,
Yeah.
well, good.
And then a port wine, and then a whiskey. And each of them had chocolate of
I
some
thought
sort.
it was supposed to be liqueurs.
So that's what it said.
So what
That's
it ended up
interesting.
being was a liquor tasting
With
with
chocolate.
chocolate is what it
Well,
ended up being.
But there's wines too. I mean, I don't consider whiskey a liqueur.
True.
You can't. Well, technically, a liqueur is any kind of alcohol with herbs or fruits or something like flavoring it. So it can be whiskey with something flavoring it. It's kind of a liqueur.
Oh.
Okay.
Or it could be a fortified wine that's kind of a liqueur or something like that. Just a flavored alcohol.
So basically what they ended up doing is they had
Okay.
the 4 different alcoholic drinks of some
Yeah.
sort with 3 of them
Very
had
good
chocolate and one of them had
espresso.
Parmesan.
Oh, that's
Ooh.
right.
So
Ooh.
real fresh Parmesan cheese.
Like
So
chunks.
that's what went with the port wine.
Oh, okay. That sounds good. Yeah.
So the lady that was there
I
was
thought you were eating your cookie.
well, I finished it and now
No,
you
go
wanna give me
ahead.
one of yours?
Teasing.
Now he's thinking about yummy cheese
I know.
and wine.
Mm.
So when we get to the port wine, I'll fill
Okay.
it. So you go ahead.
So with the pink champagne, she had us like smelling it and then noticing the bubbles and all kinds of. She's a master sommelier
Oh, okay.
that was leading the class, so she was talking about the size of bubbles and all this other stuff I couldn't really even follow.
Mhm.
And then she had us that with that, you took a taste of it, and then you had some liquid chocolate.
Ooh,
So it was milk chocolate
liquid.
and white chocolate in a little like glass,
Okay.
and like a little tiny spoon, and it was good. I
Uh-huh.
drank all that champagne. Everybody kind of was looking at me like, she just drank that whole glass of champagne.
Right.
I was
Before
like,
she even heard the rest of the story.
Right.
She didn't even hear the full story, and the glass was gone.
Yeah.
So what she was explaining was that you can try it before you have the chocolate, and then once you have the chocolate, it changes the flavor and how it sits on your palate and all this stuff.
Okay.
Right?
That makes sense.
And she was absolutely right. I had never had it that way before,
Mhm.
and it makes a huge difference. It actually makes it much more palatable than it is without the chocolate.
then
Interesting.
there was the red
Okay,
wine.
so note to self: must have chocolate when drinking champagne.
Must have chocolate when drinking
Yeah.
champagne, red wine.
Liquid chocolate too, because then it like
Oh,
coats your whole
yeah, it just
like.
coats everything. Oh, so
That chocolate was phenomenal. In fact, he didn't eat all his, and I leaned over afterwards and was like,
Give me that.
put it out of the jar.
But then they had the red wine with chocolate chips, like big chips of chocolate.
Okay.
They had a dark chocolate, a white chocolate, and a milk.
Mhm.
And that wine was meh. She was doing a thing where you swirl it and you see how quickly it falls. It runs. Is that what
Right.
she said?
Yeah.
If it has
Yeah.
legs.
Yeah,
It has
it does.
legs or tears.
Yeah.
They refer to it.
Yeah, I was
And it's
like,
just that shows the alcohol content, I guess. It's part of
Okay.
how they read the alcohol content. Whatever.
I don't know. And then we're all smelling it, and I'm like, I'm just gonna drink it.
What do you smell? People were like, alcohol?
Well, the port wine
Mm-hmm.
was it was like rubbing alcohol smell.
Yeah.
Like,
But it
It's
didn't
very-
taste that way. No, the whiskey smells like rubbing alcohol.
Oh my
but
God, the
the
whiskey.
port wine
Oh.
actually tasted
Whiskey
really
tastes
good.
like an old dirty barrel.
I had never had port wine before. So it's really sweet. It's an after dinner
Right.
Mhm.
thing, you know, a little tiny glass of it. So,
Aperitif.
so here's the big part of the story, though. So that comes with this little bit of Parmesan cheese in a glass, and she's like, eat a piece and then chew it and then drink the wine, whatever. But she's talking about the cheese. They get an 80-pound block of cheese, like Parmesan cheese from wherever they get it, and they only serve that cheese at Palo, which is the
specialty dining.
Specialty,
adult
right?
only.
Mm-hmm.
It's $1,000 for that block of cheese.
Oh my gosh.
And that's a good deal for them because they buy so much of it.
Wow.
So I was like, okay,
And
I'm
this
going to
was
enjoy
like
every last bit of this cheese.
shady.
Yeah, right?
And she had just cut it off the block.
Nice.
Wow.
And you can't even like get a nice slice on it because it's crumbly. So
Right.
it's like she's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
breaking pieces off and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was so good.
I did not like it.
You didn't like it?
Mm.
Why? Too strong?
It was very strong at all. I tried to give it to Leah because Leah didn't like it either. I was going to bring it to Ted.
It's definitely stronger than American.
Well, yeah. And I like Parmesan on my
Yes.
spaghetti,
Okay.
but just eating like,
A piece of
Do
crumbly
Do you like
Parmesan.
fresh Parmesan on your
Yes.
spaghetti? Okay.
yeah,
All
I
right.
do. And oftentimes I'll buy like a shaved tub of it
Uh-huh. Yeah.
at the grocery store. And I love that on my spaghetti. But I mean, quite honestly, I prefer the powdered shake stuff from Kraft, but
Oh,
that's
God.
fine. So then I drank
That's the
all-
rind that's ground up.
Kyle is
Stuff they sweep
physically
off
in
the
pain.
floor.
Right?
Exactly.
Kyle's
Yeah.
physically in pain right now from that comment.
It's okay.
No. It's fine.
So I drank all those three things, and everybody's like staring at me, and I'm like, and I didn't feel anything by it at all.
Right.
And then it came time for the whiskey, and so the lady's doing the same thing with smell it, and I'm like, oh, the smell.
Chrissy's like, what the
Yeah.
hell at this point?
Oh my god, were you there? That's,
After number 3, I could have been
that's
there.
exactly what I did. So the lady's talking about how, like, you basically you put the chocolate in your mouth, and then you chew the whiskey to get the taste to come through your palate and in
Yeah.
your teeth, and I'm like,
You're like,
No.
blah, 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 blah.
so
I
I
want
looked
this
at
hell
going down
no.
as fast
Yeah.
as I can.
Fire water.
it. Yeah, I shot it back, and that
Oh.
was the end of that.
Oh.
And there's a video, which I love our listeners, but never will you see this video.
Yeah, right.
I'll
But
see it.
I mean,
yeah, Gina, I'm sure Jen will show
it was
the video
Okay.
guru
it's
weekend.
probably
Yeah.
worth sharing.
It was the most unflattering video you could imagine.
Well, what were you doing in this video?
My face was like inside
Oh,
out.
it turned
and-
inside out. It was one of
Your
those
face
videos,
was turned inside out?
right. It was one of those videos where she shot it, she put it down, and then you could tell like when her
Oh.
mind and body decided she had made a horrible life choice.
Yeah.
It was one of those. So yeah.
But I definitely recommend anybody doing one of those classes.
Yeah.
Leah and Ted did a bunch of them.
I think
Mm-hmm.
they did
They did the mojitos,
the mojito one, right?
and maybe the tequila tasting too.
I don't think they did the
Oh,
tequila one. I
I
wanted
can't-
to do the tequila
Well,
one,
that's
but
a
it was
good
an
one.
hour after the liqueur tasting, and that
Oh.
just wouldn't have worked out well.
That would have been awesome.
Right?
I did one where we actually made drinks. I think we made
That's right.
shots
Yeah.
or something like that. And the last one we did was layered, and that was so cool. We had like 3 different layers in our drink.
I had a migraine headache.
Yeah, you
Hate
did.
you.
That was
Mhm.
Yeah, and they do tons of those things, and you sign up for them before you even get on the ship.
yeah.
And they're
And it was-
pricey, but
it was what? It was
not
like,
that bad.
like $30, something like that.
Something
Ours
like
was
that.
30, 35.
The one that we signed up for was 25. So I mean,
Yeah.
it wasn't bad.
It's
Yeah.
pretty good for 4 shots.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah.
what I figured. If I got 5 drinks out of
A
it,
little
well,
bit of
shoot.
education to go along with it. And
The
to watch Kristy and go,
Yeah, right. That was worth it just for that. So
Yeah.
so that shot of whiskey alone was $35. Like if you were to buy
Nice.
that.
yeah.
So that was like, you know
What
what?
kind of
That-
whiskey
that
was
paid
it?
for
Do
the
you
whole thing.
remember?
I knew you were going to ask. I don't remember. I have a picture of it, of the bottle. So
Okay.
I'll post it.
Do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't remember exactly what it was. It was good though. I enjoyed it.
Speaking
And I
of
don't normally
whiskey-
drink whiskey, but
Is it
like,
whiskey?
yeah.
Pappies? Do you guys know what that is?
Yeah.
Pappies?
I've heard of Pappy's. Yeah. They have a
So-
whole line of stuff.
So apparently their stuff is like super expensive because of how
totally.
it's prepared or whatever.
Mhm.
They had it on the ship, and before we even left port, we were down at O'Gill's Pub, which is one of the adult spots,
Mhm.
and Ted found that out, and it was $350 a shot.
Oh my
So he didn't get it.
gosh.
that's their like,
Yeah.
But
that
they've
was their,
gotten it
like,
other
20
places.
25-year-old, I think is what that one was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
A little bit of a markup on that too.
Yeah, I'm
Oh
sure.
yeah. Yeah, just
Yeah,
a
you
bit.
figure Disney's probably adding at least 15%, right?
Yeah, at least.
Golly.
Probably 50%.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Uh,
Over on something like that.
oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So what else do we want
Now,
to talk about
so-
on this cruise?
Let me ask you on O'Gill's, was Allie able to go in there with you guys?
Yes.
Yes. Yep,
Is
they
there
just-
an
they just
age
won't
limit
serve.
or just okay, they won't serve.
Yeah.
So
it's
I guess
18 plus.
okay. So I guess my question is,
We
do
did
you,
trivia there, right? With the girls.
well, but that was during the day when it was
Yes, that's true.
yeah, it was daytime. Because there are some fun things that go on at night there that I think that they would like trivia and that kind of stuff. But you think that they could go? I mean, Maddie, I think Amelia
so-
would be the issue, I think.
Allie's 17.
Right.
And what we
a
decided
half.
to do was, right, she's 17 and a half. If they asked, we would tell them how old she was. Otherwise, we weren't going to call attention to it.
Right.
Everything on this sailing that happened in O'Gill's was 18 plus.
Okay.
So whether it was a trivia during the day, it was adult trivia, or the stuff that was happening at night, they never questioned her. She obviously didn't get anything to drink there.
Yeah.
She didn't spend a whole lot of time there.
I think we did the one trivia thing, and she
Yeah.
just came by when we were. She came by and sat with us for a little bit when we were getting our drinks.
Mhm.
But other than that, no, we didn't really spend any time there.
Yeah. So, but I think if they're old enough and they're behaving as if
Right.
they belong there, they're not
Mhm.
going to bother you unless you're obviously
Yeah.
young.
Okay.
I did see them ask someone to leave. We were down there playing. I was with Meredith and Brandy. It was some
Playing the
trivia game
Wheel of
during the
Fortune or
day.
something.
Oh, okay.
And they did ask a lady to take her 8-year-old,
Oh,
7 or 8-year-old out.
yeah.
And I watched a little bit of attitude coming from that woman. And the server was just like, it's an 18 plus crowd. The stuff isn't really appropriate. And she was like, I don't care. I don't mind. And they were like, well,
God.
other adults want a space where there's other adults.
Right.
And the,
Right.
the crew member was really good about it. The
Mhm.
lady was giving them a little bit of hassle, but then she
Mhm.
eventually got up and left. But it's all marked on the navigator where
Right.
18 plus.
Mhm.
Sure. And
But I
I would
think
do the
she's-
same thing if they asked. Then we would just, graciously leave.
Right.
Knowing our girls, though, they won't go in because that would be breaking a rule, and the world stops spinning if you break a rule. So,
Right.
Anyway. But so, what did Allie do? Did she go to the Vibe? or
She did
any of the
not.
teen stuff? She did not. Okay.
Nope.
No, she did that a few cruises ago, and she's just not that kind of kid.
Yeah,
She
just
doesn't
didn't
enjoy
enjoy
it.
Yeah. Right.
other kids, really.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was going to say. Did she try to hang out with other kids, or was she content just hanging out with you guys? Y'all weren't too boring for her.
No, so a lot of what she did was hung out with us, and then she and Eric did some things, like they went to the movies, and she went to the gym. And then she and I got pedicures on the first morning. And then she also spent time on the balcony reading.
Oh, yeah.
You know, she kind of was enjoying that quiet, but she really loves the other agents.
Mm-hmm.
So she kind of was like right in the middle with everybody talking and,
Hmm.
you know, just kind of enjoying that.
Yeah.
So,
As an only child, and I speak from experience, that's really who you talk to more than you do kids your own age, except for at school. But usually when you travel, you are traveling with other adults, so you just naturally gravitate towards them to hang out with. So I totally understand that.
Yeah.
I get that. So let's talk about your itinerary. Where all did you go?
I'll answer because I don't think he can.
I
I was
remember-
waiting to see if he
no,
was
I
going to
remember.
answer.
I remember we went.
Where did we go, Eric?
We went to Grand Cayman
Okay.
and then Castaway Key.
Okay.
I remembered for a change.
Good job.
So
Wonders never cease.
we did a private boat tour on Grand Cayman with 7 of
Ooh.
us.
Nice.
Nice.
Eh.
Oh, no.
So the interesting thing is, you
It was
know,
fine.
as a travel agent, we try different things to figure out what they would be for clients.
Right. Yeah.
And so Jen, Leah, and I decided we were going to do this one because we wanted to try it out. Because we have a lot of clients that go to Grand Cayman on cruises.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hey, don't take my cookie.
I'm eating your cookie. Go ahead, tell your story.
I was saving my cookie.
Oh. You
You
can
have
get
another one?
more later after the podcast.
I have plenty of goldfish. Anyway, so we
I
Got-
like stories.
we got, we got picked up by this guy who was perfectly nice, and we went to the yacht club to get our
Okay.
boat,
Right.
and we were all like, "Ooh, we're going to
Ooh,
the
the
yacht
yacht
club."
club.
We
Oh,
should have
dear.
known better.
So when you get to the yacht club, he parks the bus that we're in, steps out of the bus, and he's parked next to a van that is white
Mm-hmm.
and has the signatures all over the bus. This bus hasn't been moved in probably 30 years.
Oh, wow.
It's like a little Volkswagen minibus, but not a
But
Volkswagen.
not a Volkswagen minibus, but it looks
Okay.
like it hasn't moved in forever. He walks around the bus, and somebody makes a comment about, "Oh, that's kind of cool. Do people get to sign that?" He goes, "Oh, yeah, you'll get to sign it here." And he opens the door. He goes, "This is our office." All of the stuff is inside this van, including markers with which you can sign the van. So, of course, everybody signed the van, because why wouldn't you?
Well, of course, when
But
you get
this
to
is-
sign a van, you do
Right,
that.
I mean, how often are you going to get to do that? But
That's right.
this is what's parked on the edge of the marina that he's about to lead us into to get on the boat
In the yacht club.
in the yacht club.
Right.
Fine, whatever. I mean,
So
you got to
it's
store
fine.
yourself somewhere. But like, literally, you open this thing and there's like life vests. There had to be 10 gas cans just like thrown in the thing, stacked up on it. I was
Oh,
like,
my God.
oh boy.
Crabs go running everywhere.
And then I get the marker and I go find a blank space to write MickeyGuru.com.
Right.
So I find a little spot and I write it. And then I step back and I realize I signed it next to someone that wrote Mr. Nasty. So it looks like it says Mr. Nasty, MickeyGuru.com. I'm like,
I thought you were going to say Pablo Escobar or something. Uh-oh.
right.
Crap.
It was, but anyway, so it ended up being like a basic speedboat, which was fine.
Nice enough boat. I mean,
Yeah, it was.
I'd be happy to have that boat.
Yeah.
But
That's where all the money went.
right.
Yeah.
And it was. I mean, it was fine. The whole thing was fine.
it was good, not great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't that plus level that you think you're expecting because you're on a Disney cruise.
Right.
Right,
You
but
know,
this
you just get
was-
so spoiled by that you don't think of that next, that next level.
But
Yeah.
the Disney excursion that would have been a private boat tour was more than 50% more than what this one was.
Oh, wow.
And that's why I was
Gotcha.
trying it out, is I want to be able to say to clients, like, hey, you don't have
Go
to
with this
spend this much money. You can do
Right.
it for cheaper.
Yeah.
Spend the money.
Spend the money.
There you go.
Yeah.
Lesson learned.
Yeah.
I mean, some of what went on after we got on the boat really wasn't under his control. The water was choppy, right?
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
was the end of February, beginning of March. It's a little cold.
Mm-hmm.
We do have some GoPro video of the fish in the water and stuff, because we did go out to a reef and get to swim around and stuff. So it was neat.
Yeah.
To hold starfish at Starfish Beach.
Yep.
Oh, neat.
Like giant starfish.
Really big starfish, which is cool. It's just there's an area there that they all just congregate to. So that was cool. We got to learn
Cool.
some stuff. The guy did jump in with us and explain, everything there is to explain about starfish in 40 seconds or less.
Oh, did you see sea turtles?
No,
we didn't see
turtles.
any turtles.
Oh,
No turtles this time.
you didn't pay extra for the turtles?
No. we paid lots, but we didn't pay enough for turtles,
pay
I
enough.
guess.
There was no
Turtles, yeah.
turtles.
Wow, how much do you have to pay to see a dang turtle?
I don't know.
Right?
We could have seen stingrays, but we decided to stay away from that
Yeah,
area.
so have you
'cause-
guys heard about Stingray City?
No.
So in Grand Cayman, there's a spot where, for some reason, they all congregate
Huh.
in this it's
Wild
not
sea
contained.
stingrays?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, those
Yes.
things will kill you.
Right, which is why I decided I didn't want any
Best
part
to
of
just
that.
stay away from that. But
Yeah.
the Disney excursion goes there.
Oh, okay.
And there's constantly excursions that go there.
Yeah,
Apparently, it's not a problem. It's only a problem if you somehow provoke them or
Crikey.
do a thing,
Tell
and they're
Steve Irwin
and
that.
there's
Step on 'em.
certain one. Well, this guy made a comment about that, about how he didn't appreciate how they've all gotten a bad rap because of that.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear him say that.
Yeah, he was talking about that at one point.
Huh.
Well, it did
so
kill a
there's-
crocodile
It did.
hunter, so
It did.
Yeah,
It
it's one
did,
of
but
those
there was
Australian
something to that,
stingrays.
and there was
it's a freak accident kind of thing. I get it, but so it was
Still.
good. I mean,
So-
we did
so
get to
we
go.
stayed away from that area, but we did snorkel in a couple different spots, and that was cool. And
Oh, snorkeling's good.
yeah, did enjoy that.
Yeah, it was a good thing.
So, like I said, for me, it was good, not great. Right?
Yeah.
It could have been, it could have been better. I think we had such a great experience snorkeling when we went to St. Martin.
Mm-hmm.
St. Thomas.
St. Martin. See, it was a little island, and there was water, and there were boat drinks. You can't be remembering everything.
There's lots of
Oh,
boat
yeah, that
drinks.
was where they were doing the twerking and stuff, right?
No, that was
That was
Jamaica.
Jamaica.
That was Jamaica. That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
The other one was a couple years ago. We'd done
Oh, okay.
out of St. Thomas or St. Martin, wherever it was.
Mm-hmm.
But that was a catamaran tour out to a really nice spot, and
Cool.
that one was definitely better.
So did you wind up, okay, so that's Grand Cayman. Did you wind up doing a cabana over on Castaway Key?
No, because we couldn't get
Oh.
one.
Yeah.
So on Castaway Key, they have a very limited number of cabanas. They charge an arm and a leg and 8 toes
Right.
for these things. And
Where
the
do you
first
put the other
pe-
2 toes if you don't have legs?
I don't know. Whatever.
Okay.
So they give them
Somebody
to
else's
concierge
toes.
guests first,
Right.
and then they go to platinum, and
Mhm.
then gold and silver. Well, we had 2 people on platinum at midnight trying to get it the day that it opened, and neither
Right.
of them could get one.
Wow.
So
That's crazy.
I know.
So there was something odd about that. So when we were on the island, Allie and I, we sat and played in the water and stuff for a while, but then we decided we were going to go for a bike ride because you can rent
Right.
bikes on the island. So we did that. We went for a ride, and we rode past all of the cabanas.
Mm-hmm.
And of all the cabanas we saw down this one road, only one of them actually had a name on it. None
Huh.
of the others had names on it, which I
That's
found very
strange.
interesting.
Yeah.
But I
It
would
is
have thought if they're
interesting.
sold out, I would have thought they would have all had names on it. They all would have been packed, and that didn't seem to be the case. Now, I know they're on another part of the island also.
Yeah, well, that was the adult beach, so those are the
Right.
adult only ones, and then there was the family beach that has some too. But even on the app, it showed all of them sold out.
Oh,
Well,
because I was looking
certainly
while we
didn't
were
look
on
like
the
that
boat.
when you were on the island. So I don't
Surely
know.
that
Either
many
those are
people.
either
Maybe
they're out of
Cancel.
commission.
maybe you can
Which could
request
very
not to
well
have your
be.
name put on it
If
That could be
you
too.
know,
Like
security wise or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Jay-Z and Beyonce didn't want their name
Could
on it.
be.
right.
There was
exactly.
an NBA player, no, an NFL player on the
Oh.
cruise.
That's cool.
I don't know who it is, but they were talking about it on the cruise group afterwards.
You could have one definitely, and it's like no names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be too cool for a name. I wouldn't want that out there.
Oh, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So we did find.
No, we
one
had
really-
our name on ours.
Oh yeah,
We were
right. I wanted
proudly,
big
"Woohoo,
letters.
look at us.
So we're riding. Ellie and I are riding our bikes down this one road where all the cabanas are, and we'd gone all the way out to the end of the island. And we were making our way back, and as we were making our way back, I happened to look over to my right down one of the little roads that has the cabanas on it, and there was a skull on the ground,
Ah,
it was black and it kind of looked like a little pirate skull sort of thing. And I like jammed the brakes on. And I rode back up to where it was, and I was like, "Oh, this is really weird. What is this?" Somebody had left a geocaching marker. And it's a skull, like a pirate skull, and it's got a little tag attached to it that says, please leave this here for other people that are geocaching, and that they'll be able to come and visit it. And inside there was like little paper notes that people had left inside it.
that's
Get
cool.
pictures?
I have a picture and a video of it. Yeah,
Oh, that's
I
really
do.
cool.
It
I
was-
hadn't heard the story.
It just
Oh,
it completely caught me off guard because I was just riding along, and if you're not thinking about it, you would just be like, well, I'm on an island. Of course you're going to see something like that. I went, wait a minute. That looks completely out of place. I said, went back to it, and it's like, oh, yeah, that's really cool.
we'll have to remember that
Yeah.
and just try to geocache.
Yeah. Usually they're a little bit more hidden than that, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of blended in,
okay.
but knowing the island, I was like, it doesn't make sense if that's there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but if you weren't thinking about it, you wouldn't. So it
Mhm.
was one of those. I was like, oh, cool.
So while they were bike riding, I was getting a massage in an open air cabana.
Oh, nice.
It was very, very nice, but not as nice as sandals.
Oh, yeah.
So now I'm going to be like the checker of all of the cabana beachside things.
Sure.
Right, exactly.
But
That's funny.
the woman I had was really, really good. So that was nice.
Nice.
But then
Did
that
you
was it.
do any? You won't do massages anymore. Is it the fantasy or which one? That the basketball court's right above where they do give massages.
So the Magic and the Wonder.
Oh, the Magic and the Wonder. Okay.
Yes. The sport court is right above it. So as Allie and I were getting our pedicures, bang, bang,
Uh-huh.
bang, bang. Like while they're playing basketball up
gosh.
above.
Yeah, it's poor planning.
Like,
Yeah,
Right?
that's just
Yeah, that
generally
was-
bad design.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Not really sure what happened there.
Didn't
Yeah.
think about that at all.
Nope.
Wow.
especially when you consider you could very easily have put the opposite side of that is just a sun deck where people can relax
Mhm.
up there.
Yeah.
You could just put it on that side.
Right.
Why would you not do that?
Right.
I don't know. It was crazy. That's why I decided to do it out on the island, and that worked.
Yeah, that was smart.
Yeah.
Did you try eating from the Serenity Bay side as opposed to Cookies too?
Yeah, we didn't even stop at the family side at all. We took the trams right over to Serenity Bay and stayed there the whole day.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Cool.
The food was good. I mean, it was definitely better than Cookies and Cookies too,
Okay.
but
Yeah, it was, I mean, it's still nothing special, right? It's fine.
it's fine.
It's fine. It's better than meh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I had
any
the corn
other?
on the cob, and it was like soggy, wet corn on the cob.
Oh no. Yikes.
They had chips, so
I had a burger and a hot dog, and those were fine. So-
Oh, they had the same fare, burgers and hot dogs over.
they
They
also
do,
had
but they're-
mahi mahi.
and
Mm.
I think they had steak too. Like you could probably get pieces of. They had some steak,
Yeah, and they had ribs too.
but the difference is that stuff's coming straight off the grill, whereas
Okay.
over at Cookies, it's been cooked and is
Mhm.
being processed.
And the
you know.
chafing dishes.
Right.
Trying to think what else was there that was particularly interesting.
Well, there was cookies and ice cream.
Well, I didn't mean there. I meant on the trip.
Oh, you mean on the island?
Any other memorable moments? How about that? Or things
we all
that you
got
think our listeners should listen to? You all got tattoos?
massive sunburns.
Oh.
So even though it's really pretty out there, Allie had her
double
aviators.
and triple up on on the sunblock.
She had her aviator sunglasses, and then we got the floats, like the flat floats.
Oh yeah.
Which, to be fair, those glasses are, $5 Walmart glasses.
Yeah. She ended up with such massive sunburns on her eyelids.
Ooh.
From the water and, like, I'm guessing doing this.
Reflecting under.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That her eyes were, like, all swollen. And because you don't put sunblock on your eyelids.
No.
And we all got, like, my arm still hurts. It's been a couple days, and my right arm here still hurts.
Ugh.
The three of us that had Oakleys on, though, had no problem with their eyes. So, just saying.
The best part was she's asked for, like, fancy sunglasses before. In fact, for Christmas.
It's the first time I've actually ever seen it be valuable.
And we both were like, we are so not spending money on sunglasses for you. Like, you're 16, 17.
And she loses them and scratches them and throws them around.
Right.
Like,
and then, of course,
don't get,
like
$200 glasses.
Yeah, we're like, well, maybe she really does need
Maybe
some better sunglasses.
Yeah.
Right.
But I'm not sure we're
Good to
paying
know.
$200. But yeah, so extra sunblock.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All over your face.
And everywhere else.
All over. Everywhere.
Yeah. Any exposed skin needs to be covered multiple times. Because we were in the water was chillier than, it is obviously in the middle of the summer, but it was still pleasant. We still jumped in and went swimming, and everybody but Jen.
Jen doesn't do fish.
Jen doesn't do fish, so she's not going to get in the water.
There was a lot of fish. I got video. There was a lot of fish around us.
Huh.
Yeah.
I don't remember there being a lot of fish when we were there.
Yeah, for some reason they were just hanging out around us. It was pretty cool.
And the big blackfish, like, coming right along the water. We had, like, chairs, like, right in the water.
There was a stingray that was hanging out.
Wow.
In that area.
I heard you guys talk about him, but I never saw him.
Yeah. Saw him a bunch of times.
That's cool.
Oh, and then this was funny. We should have got this on video. We were sitting in the chairs, and all of a sudden my little chair started to feel like it was levitating, and I'm like, that's kind of weird. And then all of a sudden it went like, whoo, back. I went, because the tide, I went literally over tea kettle in the water.
So she was in the water facing the beach, like not facing out into the water.
Right.
And it just took her from behind, just flipped right over. And wouldn't you know it, I didn't have the camera out.
That would have been funny.
So, of course, once she righted herself, I went, hold on. And I took the camera out. I'm like, can you do that again? I was like, no, you missed it. Fine.
Too bad.
But it did almost happen naturally again. Rob, Jen's husband, had to, he literally, as if he was jumping in front of a bus to save my life.
Right.
Almost fell out of his chair to grab my chair to stop it. And I was like, whoa. I didn't get hurt last time. It's okay.
It's okay. All right.
Come on, do it for the gram. Do it for the gram.
So this is not the cruise, but before y'all left, you went out of Miami. So you were in Miami a day or two early. So Eric, what's your thoughts on Miami?
Yeah, I mean, it's fine.
What a fine.
Fine.
I mean, it's fine. If I never went back there, that'd be okay too.
Aww. Yeah.
I mean, we drove up South Beach. And we never actually got out. So we got to see it.
Right.
Saw a couple really expensive cars and a bunch of really loud music and a lot of people. And other than that, that was it. I mean, we went to, when we got there, actually outside of Miami is Hollywood. And we went to the Jimmy Buffett resort, the Margaritaville resort.
Yeah.
And we had dinner at Margaritaville just because that's something Allie wanted to do. And it was your typical Margaritaville fare, cheeseburgers in paradise and margaritas, and they were fine. Everything we had was good. There's nothing wrong with it. But I mean, the people driving in Miami are absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Absolutely
I know that.
It's a foreign country for all intents and purposes.
Wow. That was a whole new experience. And
I got a minivan again.
Oh my gosh.
Driving a minivan through Miami, past.
Why'd you get a minivan again?
Because they gave me the option.
$300,000 cars.
They gave me the option of a minivan or a pickup truck.
Those were our two choices.
Get out.
Yeah, I was like,
pickup truck in Miami. That would have been something.
Yep.
You had people jumping in the back of the bed with you.
Right.
Could have thrown Allie and Eric back there. Go down South Beach.
Exactly.
Yeah. So this was my third time in Miami, all because of cruising.
Right.
I don't want to go back.
You don't?
No. I'd rather sail out of Port Canaveral.
Port Canaveral
It's
is so
easier.
much easier.
It's
Yeah.
more family-friendly feeling.
Right.
Miami is just too fast-paced of a place for me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care for it.
Yeah, and even that, I mean, we weren't even really in any of the fast-paced stuff. We weren't hanging around at night or anything. We drove down South Beach in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and I didn't really care for our hotel either, so
Yeah, that's a bummer.
I'm a resort snob, and I own it. Would have
Right.
been much better off staying at Margaritaville.
which wasn't very busy.
Was not very
sure
busy.
we could have stayed there.
Really?
Because it was
Yeah.
February. I think they're
Oh,
they're
yeah.
not busy right
That's
now.
true.
I'm
Yeah.
sure during the summer that place is packed. But
Yeah.
Right.
for right now, not so much.
So anything else you think we need to know? Any tips if you're going to be sailing on the Magic anytime soon?
So, should we
So-
talk about the size and how it matters or doesn't?
Yes, the Magic es un poquito.
Oh, Quito. Yes. It's the original. It's the OG ship, right?
Yeah.
It is. And it is tiny.
Well, so let's just start by saying we pulled up to the pier, and next to it was Royal Caribbean Symphony of the Seas.
Oh, well, yeah.
One of
Anything's
the-
going to be small.
Yeah, one of, if not the biggest ship on the ocean right now.
Yeah.
Right?
And then Carnival Horizon, I think, was the other one on the
Okay.
other side of it.
Another big
Yeah.
one.
Another big one.
Right.
And then
That's one of their
little
new
tiny
ones.
baby chip.
Yeah.
Like, so it is tiny compared to the Dream and the Fantasy. At least it feels that way.
Mhm.
But one of the things I noticed when I got home is it's 984 feet, which is actually longer than Main Street USA at the Magic Kingdom in Walt Disney World,
Okay.
from train station to castle.
Right. So when you take it out of the water, it sounds like it's really big.
Right.
When you
Right.
put it in the water, it's really tiny.
Yeah.
It's a tiny ship.
But it was funny because Brandy, one of our agents, she has done mostly Magic and Wonder.
hmm
And she did the Wonder first.
Oh, okay.
The rest of us did one of the big ships first.
Yeah.
So she's like, what do you mean it's not that small? And we were all kind of like, oh, it is.
Yeah.
But what we talked about, which is so true, is it feels smaller, but there's nothing on the Magic or the Wonder that you would want that you
Mhm.
can't get. Like,
Okay.
everything you need is there. It's just not
And you can get it quickly because it's not a far walk to get
right.
there. So that's the nice part.
It's true. And it was,
Yeah,
it
absolutely.
has every amenity that you would want. It's just smaller.
Yeah.
So it's just, it was kind of an
Easy.
interesting conversation.
Interesting.
But I liked it. I if it sailed out of Boston, I'd live on it.
Sure.
Or New York, even.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Have the remote office there.
Right. Exactly.
Oh my God! Literally, like I would be on that thing
At the port.
constantly.
Yeah.
Where can we rent space at the port? That'd be great.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're going to go on spring break. I think we're going to take a cruise on the Fantasy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well,
So
possibly.
that's what we're planning.
Yeah.
We've got to shuffle some stuff around first, but yeah.
I don't know if that's the limiting factor, but we'll see
Yeah.
what
But
happens.
make some things happen.
Yeah, we I would love to do that again. And I was looking, in fact, we were on the ship and I was like, I don't want to get off. So I was looking to see, like, is there space available on the next one? Like, what's available
My
coming up?
God.
Well, and the funny part is Leah's husband, Ted, and Eric would, like, just look at each other when Leah and I would start having those conversations. They were both
Right.
like, because they both have day jobs,
Yeah.
and Leah does too. But I was like, I could do my job right here. I'll just buy the internet package and get to work. I
Yeah,
brought my
do my
iPad.
job just fine.
Like,
Oh my God.
That's fine. I could do it. But I literally could live on a cruise ship. I find it to be so relaxing, just
Yeah.
like sitting by the water.
I liked that itinerary because you had a day at sea and then a port, and then a day at sea and then a port. So you had a lot of downtime too. That seemed nice.
And we had the
Did work
Marvel.
out.
It was a Marvel day at sea cruise,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
which added a little bit of something.
Mhm.
But we got to play Marvel Trouble. The little pop.
Oh
game.
yeah.
Mhm.
They had board games one day in Promenade Lounge, and we went down and they had the Marvel one, so we played that. It was nice to have that downtime though, and like just relax. Like
Yeah,
the three of us did that for a little while, and I kind of laughed, but I was like, "This is what it's about." Like
it is.
it
Yeah,
doesn't have to be all this grandiose things all the time. Like
Cruising.
yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
I was like, "Want to play Trouble?" He's like, "No." I'm like, I shouldn't have asked that as a question.
Right?
I'm
Let's
sorry,
play
we're playing
Trouble.
Trouble. Sit down. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Got it.
Well, I'm
Will there
glad
be
you guys.
alcohol involved?
I'm glad you guys had a great time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we did. It was very good.
It's
Yeah.
good to hear about it. Still hate that we weren't with you, but that's okay. That's just how it goes.
We could
One
have figured
day.
that out.
I know. Just these pesky kids and their overachieving selves. Yeah.
I know. Well, as of next year, we won't have one to like. Well, we'll have her, but
Yeah. You won't have to factor in her vacation and stuff.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
although we were talking about Guru Birthday Bash for next year, and she was like, "Well, can you do it when I can come?" I was like, "Guru Birthday is March 3rd. Like,
Right.
it doesn't move. Like,
That's what it is.
like no. If you have school on March 3rd, you're out of luck, my friend."
Right?
Sorry, kiddo.
She could have spring break that week, though.
Life
be.
begins at 18.
It
You're an
does.
adult.
Right.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Right.
Dun, dun, dun.
But
All
we
right.
do need to figure out a time for us to go on one
I know, we do.
to a podcast.
Or to an all-inclusive. We
Yes.
need to do that, too.
Yes.
Anyway, that's another topic. All right. So I think that wraps it up, huh?
I think so.
Anything else? All right. Well, thank you for tuning in this week to listen to us or to watch us if you're on YouTube. We greatly appreciate it. We would love for you to write a review and give us a rating on whatever podcast listener you are listening to us on. That would be fantastic. That helps other people be able to find us and enjoy enjoy our podcast as well. So if you have any questions for us or you just want to reach out and say hi, we would love to hear from you. You can find us on Facebook, and you can also find us on Instagram at Fab4 Travel Talk. So until next week, or if some big news comes about, we may jump in the middle of the week. You never know. So thanks, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Safe cruising, everyone.
See you real soon.
Bye, everybody.